Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Lester from Cannabis Wiki. As you know, Cannabis Wiki is an activist helping bridge the collaboration between the community and the industry. That being said, I do have the privilege, I feel very special that this gentleman took some time out of his busy schedule, his day, to talk to us, because this is one of the industry's leading top important CEOs or co-CEO and president of White Sheep. Speaking of no one other than Mr. Sutherland, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. So the reason why I've asked Mr. Sutherland to be here, because I felt touched during one of Canada's premier business conference and expo sessions that they had that had Mr. Sutherland inside. What I want my viewers to know is I truly want them to know that there is humanity inside the cannabis industry. The fact that there is people at the top that are real, that do care about people, that do want to see the best for the small guy and the big guy. So my question really is, what makes you want to see the best in people?
These things, and they don't relate to the cannabis industry, are arise from almost all the time one's parents, what they bring you. But before I get into that, I want to start and say thank you, Lester, for inviting me in. And two, please call me Hamish, because Mr. Sutherland was my grandfather.
Definitely.
And so the idea of helping people in the industry is and ought to be reflective of what cannabis and the industry is supposed to be doing as well. So my mother was a spectacular person. She gave I and my siblings a wonderful education through the course of her lifetime. And so helping other people, she was a teacher for 24 years. And her objective was to ensure that children received the benefit of her guidance, wisdom, and gentle pressure to achieve and be as good as they can be. Right. And so that's a big part of it. I was extremely fortunate at Bedrocan as it relates to the cannabis industry that of the 7 reports that reported to me, 5 were women under the age of 30, head grower, assistant head grower, compliance manager, and our team was really spectacular. And for the most part, for everyone who started in the industry in 2013 and 2014, none of us were qualified for our job. None of us had the experience of running an indoor grow, which is what we all started with, of scale. None of us had the experience of working with Health Canada inspectors and regulators who doing the very best they can under extraordinary circumstances, interpreting regulations that they didn't know what the actual outcome was to have been. They didn't understand what the priorities of the government were. They went on a great crusade with us and a great path, holding our hands. And so what we learned from that, or what I learned from that, was that we're all on the same team, rowing in the same direction. It's every so often you might have a moment where you take a break and have a sandwich or a beer, and you think, hey, aren't we on the same team anymore? But no. They have to revive and they have to renew, and so do we. So we had a terrific team of people, and as a basketball coach with my kids, the idea is to help them become the best they can, and in fact, one of them was in the NCAA Final Four this last week, so that was good.
All right, well, something new. That's something new. Well, I just wanted to bring that humanity side to all of this. We've been here for 3 days. We've covered a lot of the industry. We've covered a lot of the vendors out there. We've talked to a lot of people. Once again, and I don't feel embarrassed saying it whatsoever. I was actually touched. I was truly touched listening to see and feel that there is humanity. And everybody needs to know that there is people at the top that do care about people. They do care about success. They do care about working together.
Well, collaboration is critical in the industry. When our company, Bedrocan Canada, led by Mark Wayne, when we were bought by Tweed at the time, and then the entities became Canopy Growth Corporation. When that happened, we discussed with all the senior managers across, getting all the quality assurance people together in a space. And the purpose of which is that many of the companies that are in this space experience the same problems. Some are more successful at putting out the fires, at resolving those problems than others in a set period of time. But everyone is going to experience the same kind of issue. As we see currently with some of the indoor greenhouse situations that are arising with the quality of the product and dryness at some levels, there are those who have solutions. The market is speaking and it is reporting to those who are doing research that there are companies who are able to deliver a product that meets the needs of the industry. And so when Canopy bought us, we were very keen to bring our quality assurance people together so they can collaborate and understand, oh, you have that solution, you had that problem too, and you fixed it. Terrific, let's roll this in. To that end, I've wanted, but not been able to set up, an anonymous online quality assurance website that would allow QAs to get together and speak anonymously and say, I, of no place in particular, have a problem. Has anyone faced this? And see if the other QAs would respond appropriately and bring those groups together. When we were at the beginning of the industry in 2013, Mark Wayne was a founder of the CMCIA, the Canadian Medical Industry Association, and it was the intent of which was to speak as one voice to the Canadian government, report to them what our priorities were as producers of the product, not as people who were trying to get rich, but as people who were trying to deliver a medical product to a community that had been waiting for it for a long time, as delivered by multiple providers as opposed to the one monopoly provider that had been before 2013.
Right.
And all of the people in the room, to a person, were generous and are concerned about humanity. They all are. They all were. Now with 171 licensees, I can't speak to all of them anymore, and whether some are just in it for the money. But as producers of medical products in a regulated industry that demands compliance, rigorous compliance across the board, it's very hard work to meet the criteria of the government and of the consumer base to ensure that anything that we deliver to the marketplace to be consumed by your grandmother or your daughter is a healthy product and will not take away from any of their health benefits, that it adds value to their health and well-being and to their quality of life. And they all believe they're contributing to that, and sometimes you fall down along the way.
Right.
You know, you make your craft dinner and you burn it. You intended to have a nice meal, and it just, oh darn, it didn't work that time. And so you don't willfully do those things,
Right.
but sometimes there are little glitches that arise. But everyone out there, I mean, they're all doing the very best they can.
That's fantastic. Once again, I appreciate you taking the time.
Lester, thanks so much, sir.
Been fantastic.
Have a great day.
And you as well. That's it. I don't know much more to say. Flabbergasted once again. Emotions are going crazy inside. This is Lester for cannabis.wiki. If you missed any of the information, you want to see the video again, please tune into www.cannabis.wiki to find Mr. Sutherland. He wants me to call him Hamish, which is no problem. I have no problem with that at all. Stay tuned. Keep it real. Be human.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.